Happy Monday, everybody. I just wanted to jump on real quick and just kind of give my thoughts on a story I've been reading in the Bible from the book of Genesis, chapter 19, about Lot and his family. For those of you who are not familiar with the story, in Genesis chapter 19, two angels from God came down to the country where Lot and his family were living at, which was Sodom at the time. And because of the corruption and the wickedness that was going on in that country, advised Lot that him and his family needed to leave immediately because the country was facing imminent danger. And if they decided to stay, they would, as a result, suffer in with the fate of that city. Very specifically, the angels advised Lot and his wife that as they were leaving the country to flee and not look back. However, as Lot and his family decided to leave the country and actually did, his wife decided that she was going to look back, and she did. And immediately she turned into a pillar of salt. As I read the story, I was like, wow, this is pretty interesting that the Lord sent angels down to give them a warning. And even though Lot and his family could see all of the calamities that were going on in the city, that his wife was so stuck in being familiar with the city that she turned around and she looked and she ultimately lost her life. But in reading that story, I learned that there was a lesson that we can all learn. Sometimes in our lives, depending on who we are, there are a lot of different areas that we tend to look back, or seasons, or stay in relationships, or stay in covenant with people that God has called us to remove ourselves from. But because we are familiar with those people and we don't want to activate our faith and we don't trust God, we tend to stay in relationships or in covenants with people or at jobs or doing things that God has already called us to move past because it breeds familiarity. That's a dangerous thing to do, because being in a place that God has called you to move from can cause you to miss not only the hand of God, but to miss the blessings that come along with it outside of your disobedience. I just want to encourage you all today that even though it might be hard, whatever it is, that place, that relationship, that job, whatever it might be, if God has called you to move away from it or to leave it, that means that He has better for you. And the only way that you can get the better or the blessing that God has for you is to trust God and move out in faith. Your lack of faith is causing you to be stagnant. Your lack of faith will cause you to live beneath your means. Your lack of faith will cause you to be looking at other people and become jealous because they had enough faith to move and you didn't, and you decided to stay. I hope that this message blesses you guys. Thank you, and God bless.